Hello Pisces, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Pisces, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at the overall energy through Oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into your reading, into your story with Tarot as we progress. So let's start, Pisces, by looking at your recent past. This is for Pisces, recent past. Please. Time to give rather than take. So investing in something, you've been investing in something. Yourself maybe, or something, because you have bring love into the situation with don't let your past hold you back, and the end of a tough cycle approaches. Ooh, okay. I feel like I'm talking to a Pisces who's been doing the work. Because I feel like this is a time to give rather than take. You know, the healing journey is definitely about, doing the hard work, putting in the time and the effort and the energy to grow, to heal, to evolve. But like it's very not rewarding in the beginning. It's just a lot of work and pain and tears and all of these things, but eventually it does end up very much being worth it. You know, making the hard decisions to make difficult choices that might be best for us is always something that pays off in the long run, but isn't so easy in the short term. So I feel like whatever this is about, for you, Pisces, I feel like this is about, breaking out of old cycles and doing things a little bit differently. Maybe you haven't seen the rewards of that yet, or you haven't seen the progress yet actually appear in your life, but I feel like you absolutely will. So this makes me excited for you guys. I do know that sometimes it can feel like you're putting in a lot of work for no reason, but I really promise you that there is a reason, and that, your hard work is paying off. It's not going in vain. So let's see what Pisces is dealing with in their current energy. Now, this could also be in regard to like starting a business or a fitness journey or something where it's like you're putting in a lot of effort, but you're not yet seeing the results. But I feel like you absolutely will. Current energy for Pisces. This is honestly really beautiful energy because it feels like you're like blooming again in some way. You have worked through your fears with step out of your comfort zone. Like this is definitely Phoenix rising from the ashes kind of energy, but when that doesn't happen all at once, it really is a process. And I feel like you are very out of your comfort zone here, especially if you have been making positive changes, if you have been showing up in a different way. It's going to breed a lot of room for fear and doubt and insecurity to start to make its way into your mind and into your energy field. Being aware that this is happening is like the best thing that you can do, like bringing your awareness to the fact that, you're like, I am stepping out of my comfort zone. Things are new and it's exciting and there's a lot of possibility, but it's also really scary because I don't really know how things are going to turn out. I'm feeling a little bit lost, or I'm feeling a little bit stuck, or I don't really know what I'm doing. Like all of those things are natural and normal, and you're being asked to work through those things without fully believing them or letting them hold you back. Because again, when we make positive changes in our life, or we start investing in building something or creating something new, especially something that's very aligned with us, it will push us to face a lot of the things that maybe kept us from making a certain decision or a certain move in the first place. So just because you're experiencing fear or doubt or insecurity right now, it doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. In fact, that typically means that you're headed in the right direction when you're experiencing resistance in that form, because that literally is a sign that like you're taking the road less traveled and you're doing things differently. You're taking the hard path, which is ultimately going to pay off in the end. What does Pisces need to know moving forward? And this feels like this is coming after a period, after a really difficult period too, and maybe that cycle isn't fully closed, so that energy is still lingering as well. So it's understandable that you would be feeling a lot right now. What does Pisces need to know moving forward? Take time to breathe out. Oh my God, look at that. Your hard work is paying off, which I literally said word for word. I didn't feel like that was supposed to happen. Oh, that's so many. Okay. Luck is on your side. Meditate and contemplate. Expect powerful changes. It's time to release negativity. Okay. This is kind of telling a whole story, especially about, kind of what we've been talking about in this reading and where it's ultimately taking you toward. I feel like, you've been putting in a lot of effort. I feel like this take time to breathe out is this reminder that it's okay to rest sometimes. So it's okay to give yourself grace. You're on a really complicated, really difficult journey right now, and you are doing the best you can, and that is enough. But also know that, as you're working through this negativity, the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, all the things that you're currently kind of addressing, just know that that is putting you more and more in alignment. That's leading you more and more to the positive changes that you're looking for. So this is definitely this reading of confirmation, you're doing the damn thing, you're headed in the right direction, it's gonna pay off in the end. Trust the process, you're getting there, all of those things, which obviously is a lot easier said than done. But I do feel like I'm speaking to a collective that, you should be really proud of yourself, because I feel like you're doing a lot of things that a lot of people wouldn't do, especially if I'm talking to someone who is, on a healing or a growth journey, because that is always, 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 well, actually, I feel like I'm going to take this one now. Always, always, always the best decision to make. Healing is always the best decision you can make. Choosing the path of healing and growth, because it will always pay off in the end, not just for you, but for the world as a whole. Helping contribute to raising that vibration. All right. If that sounded kind of vague, just remember vague. It's because that was just overall energy. So remember, we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress, but let's look at the overall theme of this reading for you. This is my intuitive life coaching deck, and I am an intuitive life coach, so obviously I love this deck. It's not my deck, but it is a deck that I own, obviously, that I really like. So let's see. Overall theme of this reading for Pisces. For some reason, this card always pulls 4 cards, or this deck. I always seem to pull 4 cards. Usually it's 1 or 2, but for some reason it's always 4. I just feel like this deck really has this tendency to tell a full story. Okay, you have parting ways. It may be time to move on from this person or situation. You have intuition. You are learning to embrace and trust your inner knowing. You have universal flow. It is time for you to slow down, breathe, and take time to smell the roses. And creative projects. It is time to get things done. Make your creative projects a priority now. And then underneath it all is hibernation. Your soul needs time alone for meditation and rest. I feel like none of these cards, you can take directly, where it's this is the soul energy. I feel like this really kind of embodies the overall theme of your journey right now. With this parting ways card, I do feel like you are moving away from something old, some sort of old cycle, whether that is in the form of a person or a career path or a job or whatever it might be. Maybe it's a habit, certain habits. Either way, I feel like you are closing out an old cycle and stepping into new ones. And I feel like you are, with this intuition card, I feel like you are really following your intuitive guidance into this new energy that you're starting to embrace. I feel like you're kind of in the middle of closing out something old and starting something new though. So you're still kind of in that space of, you were not quite rising from the ashes. I feel like that's very much this future energy, but I feel like you're getting there. and you might be starting to feel that energy already. You do have universal flow. I feel like allowing yourself to just kind of move through all of this right now, especially if you are finding yourself stressed about not having all of the answers or not knowing like how things are going to turn out or when things are going to happen. Letting go of all of that will be really, really beneficial for you right now, because that can help you, again, tap into your inner knowing and your intuition, and instead of tapping into fear, because fear really plays on your lack of control when you're outside of your comfort zone. You have, this creative projects, I feel like right now is really taking some time to focus on things that really fuel your soul, whether that is, art, or, focusing on your health or well-being or your mental health or emotional health, whatever the case is. Obviously, it does say creative projects. So, but I just feel like in general, I do think that that is a time to really focus on, again, things that really fill up your cup, because that's going to be really important as you're moving through this energy. Now, hibernation, your soul needs time alone for rest and meditation. Make sure that you are, taking some time to yourself and taking some time to allow yourself to just be. You are not meant to just keep moving forward at all costs. You are here to, again, let go and flow and experience all that this life has to offer. But I do feel like you are making a lot of progress in a lot of ways, and you should be very, very proud of yourself for that, because I do definitely feel like you're doing the hard stuff, and the hard stuff is always going to lead to the good stuff. All right, let's dive into the story a little bit more. Let's start, Pisces, with this past energy. A time to give rather than take with the end of a tough cycle approaches. What does Pisces need to know about their recent past? Two of Cups in reverse. There is some form of separation here. The Tower. To me, this is just, it's like distancing yourself from the way things have been, which is always hard, whether that's in the form, again, of like relationships or a job or whatever, kind of resonates with you. The Tower, the Eight of Wands, the Sun in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Death. I mean, yeah, this is closing out some sort of old cycle. So I feel like with this Tower, this has been a really challenging period, because, the Tower is kind of shaking the fundamental foundation of your life, which means like whatever, you're closing out, whatever you're changing, it's big. It's either a really important relationship or something that played, a really important role in your life, like a job or a friendship or something like that. Something that, at one point was a big part of your life and the time and energy that you gave to, and you gave a lot of your time and energy to it. And I feel like, there was either this decision or this need to really distance yourself from it, to separate yourself from it. And I feel like you don't realize how much this has catapulted you forward. Now, your ego, which we all have an ego, your ego is not to be demonized. Its primary goal is survival. It likes what it can control. So it likes what's familiar. It likes what's predictable. It likes familiar hells. So a lot of what you're fighting against is your ego's need for control and for predictability. And that is probably the hardest part of making any change in our life, is our ego has a tendency to always look at what is familiar as what is better, even though what is familiar hasn't led you to where you want to be, right? So that's why, closing out old cycles is actually, it's like easy in theory, right? It's like, okay, walk away from something, don't go back to it or don't repeat it. But it's actually very difficult in practice, because it requires you to consciously override your instincts, because your instincts are going to be to stay in what is, again, familiar and predictable, even if it's not what's best for you, which is why the Tower really comes in to shake the foundation, because it's almost like you have to rebuild in a certain way. And that's why making big changes to our life is so hard, because that thought of like starting over or starting from the beginning or whatever the case might be. It's really hard and really scary, and it does take time. But, everything that I have learned about a spiritual journey, about a growth journey, about a healing journey, a manifestation journey, whatever word really works for you, is that a lot of times when it feels like things are falling apart and it feels like we are just losing like one thing after another, it often means that things are actually falling into place. And, if as long as we are willing to embrace the journey and the process of letting go and allowing, which is always the hardest part, because again, your ego hates that. It wants to control and predict. That if we let go and allow, we allow ourselves to be taken to really, really wonderful things. So again, I do feel like I'm speaking to a collective that's been doing the work, and that work is not easy, and it is incredibly, incredibly, emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically taxing, but it will take you to where you want to go, and you can absolutely be sure of that. So you've been dealing with a lot, Pisces, and I think that you should give yourself a lot of credit because you are making the decision to receive more. And that is a very, very beautiful, beautiful thing. So let's look at your current energy. Step out of your comfort zone, work through your fears. Does Pisces need to know about their current energy here? So now you're in the unknown. Things are unpredictable. And that seems scary, but it's actually a good thing. Everything that we desire exists outside of our comfort zone. Current energy for Pisces. Yeah. Okay. Well, I saw the Ten of Swords. I thought, yeah. In reverse, though. So that's good. Hang on. Let me get more before the Justice. The Knight of Wands. So you're moving toward what you deserve. Yeah, literally. Because you've been stuck for a really long time. I don't think you realized you were stuck. But then I feel like something happened and then you realized you were stuck. But you were stuck in less than what you deserve for a long time. And I feel like Spirit had to move you. It's like shake things up to get you to move, to get you to make some sort of decision. And it was probably pretty painful. I do feel like it was very much unfair. That's a big word. I feel like it was unfair how things went down and how things, kind of like eventually, like essentially what moved you forward was unfair, but it was necessary. And I feel like a big part of why it was necessary is because sometimes we don't make changes until life pushes us into changes, right? Like say that you're at a job that you don't love, that you don't, that doesn't really align with you, but it pays the bills and you're okay. You sit in that complacency, which we've all been there, we've all done that. And this doesn't have to be about a job. This is just an example. And you know that it's not right for you deep down, but you're afraid to make change. Maybe it pays you well. Maybe the job market is hard. You're not sure if you can find anything better. So then the universe comes in and shakes things up. Maybe you get fired, or maybe your boss treats you so bad that eventually you're like, I cannot do this anymore, and you quit. Either way, the universe shakes things up and pushes you into creating change in some sort of way. It can happen in relationships where it's just like, you deal with a relationship that doesn't serve you for so long, and eventually you hit that last straw and you're like, okay, I cannot do this anymore. I'm done. And it's like you get to this place of acceptance. And I feel like that's what the Ten of Swords in reverse is really about. Like really, truly getting to a place where you're like, okay, you know what? I'm done being in this space. I'm done allowing this to happen. And I accept that change needs to happen. And I think that is the first step to, creating change is recognizing you need change, right? It's like the first step in the AA program. It's like the first step is recognizing you have a problem. And I think that sometimes that's hard. It's hard to admit, yes, this needs to change, or yes, this isn't okay, because we have certain hopes, for things to work out a certain way. But just know that the action that you've taken, or the action that you are being pushed to take, whether or not it was fully your decision, is the best thing for you. because where you're headed is so much better than where you've been. The Seven of Cups, really overwhelmed right now. And that is completely understandable. You're overwhelmed. You're probably really emotional. There's probably a lot of healing taking place. And a lot of what healing means is hurting and feeling. And so just know that, like, if you're not feeling super excited, that's okay. If you're not feeling super, motivated or, looking forward to the future, like, that's okay and that's natural and that's normal. This isn't about feeling a certain way. This is about an inner knowing that, sometimes the hardest choices are the best decisions that we make. And I think that that's where, you're needing to kind of look at things right now is like, yes, this has been difficult and this has been hard, but deep down that you're headed in the right direction. And that's the best thing for you. Now, going back to what I said before, I do feel like right now is a time to really nourish your soul. And like what I mean by that, you have this creative projects, whether it's like making sure that you're paying attention to making sure that you're eating nourishing foods and that you're getting, good movement when it comes to your body. Like right now is a time to really make sure you're taking care of yourself, prioritizing you. I think that when you're going through a lot and there's a lot out of your control, the one thing that you can control is what you do and how you respond and how you show up. And the more that you pour into you right now, I think the easier it's going to be to kind of get through the unknown period, because the unknown period is always necessary before the exciting period. So you're in the unknown period. There's a lot out of your control, which is natural and normal and understandable. And, no one is going to make you feel better about this period of your life until you get through the other side. So just kind of surrendering to the flow and letting things be as they are and knowing that you are headed in the right direction and things are going to get better, I feel is really important for you right now. Okay, what does Pisces need to know moving forward? You have your hard work is paying off with expect powerful change. What does Pisces need to know about where they're headed? I want the cards to turn all the way around or hit the table. Thank you. Ace of Wands. This is a very exciting energy. The Lovers. The Emperor. Two of Pentacles. This is finding what's been meant for you all along. It's like it took this cycle was a huge stepping stone to get you here and closing it out specifically. Because I feel like a lot of the work you've been putting in is to closing out some sort of cycle. And that's moving you to something that is very exciting, very like heart-centered or like passion-driven, very aligned. With the Lovers here, this is what's in alignment with what you deserve. The Emperor, to me, this could be talking about like a job or a career. It definitely doesn't have to be. It could be maybe about meeting the right person. I don't know. But it's like closing this cycle out was a prerequisite for this. And not just like closing it out and the action that you took, but everything that you learned and the ways that you're growing, right? Because I'm talking to a collective that's been doing the work. So this is like incredibly exciting, aligned, and also like I get the energy of calm. Especially if things have been really chaotic, this is very calm. It's very peaceful. It's very aligned. I mean, that's the best word. And you get here because of everything that you've been willing to face and to go through. And it's interesting. I don't think you really expect how good things are going to get. Like, this is very unexpected energy. It's very unexpected, but it's also very, since it's very aligned, it's like this is what you've been being led to the whole time. Well, dang, Pisces. That's a lot of really wonderful, wonderful energy for you guys. And I think that it's because you're following your intuition and you're surrendering to the flow and you're, closing out old cycles. Like, it's a product of the work that you've put in. This isn't just something that just happens, right? This is something that you create because you show up for it. You choose it. And that's what manifestation is. It's not dreaming really hard, till you create it. It's an active alignment through beliefs, thoughts, and actions. And that's where I think a lot of people get confused, is they're like, well, why aren't good things happening to me? And it's like, well, are you showing up for them? Are you closing out old cycles? Are you doing the work, right? That's where you create it. All right, we're going to hop on over to the extended. In the extended, we're going to focus on what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So looking at that tangible advice. Thank you so much, Pisces, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Pisces.